But let's get into the best part that everyone was looking forward to. We had CM Punk versus Darby Allin. This was Punk's first match back after 7 years. 7 years, man. Did you even expect, when you were watching this match, did you even believe that, yes, is this finally happening? CM Punk is finally wrestling?
Yeah, it took me a while to get into my senses. Obviously, I was losing my shit watching CM Punk wrestle, but it was quite evident, the way he was in the ring, and you can't blame him because he was wrestling after 7 years. So yeah, overall stoked.
Spandan?
Yeah, when we were talking earlier in the first parts of the review that a lot of new viewers came into AEW now watching it, I think around 80 to 90% of the credit goes to CM Punk because there are very few fans that have watched AEW as their first wrestling show. So most of these people are coming off from WWE. So when they heard a big name like CM Punk, who's been there and now in AEW, so that brought a lot of people here. So CM Punk was kind of the reason, but talking about when he started wrestling, I was kind of waiting for him to be in trunks, but he wasn't full lower. So not a big problem. But the early parts, I was like, it's a singles match, it's just two superstars. But then the realization came that, oh my God, it's CM Punk. He's wrestling after 7 years. So I didn't actually want to see a 5-star classic or anything. I just wanted Punk to see Punk how he would do. And Darby did his job. He was fantastic. Also, my first impression of Darby Allin, and he's awesome. So probably the best, safest option to put against Punk because there were, other podcasts who were talking about what if Darby does something bad and Punk gets injured or anything. So that would have been really terrible. So good choice of putting Darby with Punk, and really, really happy to see Punk back.
But before the match even began, we had your usual Darby Allin video package. Nothing much. We see someone in a body bag with a CM Punk best in the world, typed in the body bag, and this body bag was picked up by a helicopter. Nothing usual here. Darby Allin just jumps from the helicopter, and that's it. That's his usual hobby.
True.
But,
yeah, but is it me or I heard a kind of a final countdown theme because it was not actually final countdown, it was something similar, and I was like, is it Brian already? Because I felt like it was going to happen, but immediately I saw best in the world written on it, so I was like, okay, this is Darby's entrance probably. So yeah,
so we get to the entrance, like this match, from the entrance to the whole thing, the crowd was super into it. Like Darby was getting a good reaction from the crowd, and Punk, by the way, came out to, can I say it is his old Ring of Honor gear with the whole trunks and stuff? Ridwan?
He used to wear basketball shorts over there.
Now he has gone with the long trunks.
Same pants.
But at least it was better than what Shawn Michaels was wearing in his first match back.
Yeah, 1,000 times better than like.
But the match began in a way like commentators are really hyping this match, saying that it has a big fight field. We see Darby Allin sitting in the corner while CM Punk, when he made his entrance, he was just pacing around. Then Punk, decided to sit down, and we had a kind of a face off. Crowd was going wild for this. Holy shit chance from the get go. And the problem was we were not able to having CM Punk Darby Allin dual chants because the CM Punk chants was overpowering the Darby Allin chants. Did you notice that?
Yes.
And about this match, if you see top from bottom on this card, this was the best pure wrestling match on the card. And this match turned out to be great. And CM Punk, I can't call him the GOAT. He's still the GOAT. He's still the best.
Yes. Like, there were a lot of instances where you could see, like, obviously I was more in for the spectacle than for the match because, like, of course, it's Punk. He's wrestling after 7 years. You don't know what to expect, but one thing was for sure that Darby Allin was going to take bumps like a man. And like I liked how Punk was moving more into rest holds to cut off Darby's speed. And once Darby got his advantage, then he was running roughshod. And Punk was like gassed at one point, but then again it worked to his advantage. Like it told a good story as it is, and like for a pure wrestling match, like you mentioned, like this match was great on all cylinders. Like even crowd work, and Punk was like playing up to the crowd. Like he's a master at that.
Like
And yeah,
like he worked smartly here. Like someone said, he was having a Bret Hart style match.
yes, like I think they compared it to his '97 one, where he was just more about crowd involvement apart from his pure wrestling thing. And for someone like Punk, obviously like this match was great, and it's only going to get better from here on for him. There are obviously bigger matches awaiting, and they're going to be like they're going to be superb and just going to show that he still got it, and he has still got it.
And by the way, there were some references from Money in the Bank 2011 that he did here in this match. Like in the first parts, they were doing pure wrestling here, Punk and Allen. So when it got to the point where he was, playing off the crowd, but the crowd was saying, "You still got it," or something like that. And Punk, he started, talking to the crowd like, "Who? Me or him?" Do you remember he did the same thing with John Cena in 2011?
Yeah.
Like, and there was yet another Money in the Bank 11 reference where Punk hit a GTS at one point, but Darby Allin fell to the outside. So there you go. And the main story is Punk was going to, wanted to finish the match with the GTS, but initially Darby Allin had it scouted. At one point, Darby Allin hit that pop-up stunner or something like that. Darby Allin was taking his usual bumps, like the way he took that bump off that steel post or that corner thing, like it was insane. We got to the point where Punk was mostly on offense. Darby Allin was building some, momentum. He hit two crazy dives, his usual tope and that huge senton. And from there, Darby Allin was ready to finish off Punk with the coffin drop. And he even did that go to sleep reference. And then the crowd booed. Crowd didn't like it. He hit the coffin drop. Punk, got up like if he was Undertaker, and that's how we countered that spot. And the crowd went wild, and he's laughing. That spot was brilliant, I tell you. And yeah, so we were now waiting for that final GTS, but Darby Allin is doing everything to counter here. Like he even locked in a bunch of reversals, a bunch of roll-ups. So final parts of Darby Allin was going something, I don't know, maybe as reverse Rana, but Punk got him in that final GTS that got him the victory. Really good match. Punk looked great, and Darby Allin now is a superstar.
Yes, totally. Like this was also, like Spandanan mentioned, so many people bought this pay-per-view just because of CM Punk, and he was like the big draw in this case, and it opened a lot of new eyes for Darby Allin. I mean, people who are watching AEW regularly know how much of a crazy madman he is, but this was like another, like on a more wider sense, and it's good to see, like creating a star even in defeat. And he could take this loss. I mean, I was initially predicting Darby to win, so that they were playing into CM Punk's self-doubt story. Like, can he still go? Can CM Punk still be the best in the world? And Darby was like on top of his game. So I was probably expecting them to continue with that, but I think the finish really explained how Punk is still the Punk of old, and how is he like still a master, and how is he willing to help these younger talent thrive on big occasions. So it did its job. So it shows CM Punk is clearly back in pro wrestling, and Darby is a superstar. So,
And we had a post-match bit where Sting came out. He promised us that he won't be, involving in himself in this match. He came out, shook Punk's hand. Then we saw a sign of respect from both Punk and Darby Allin. Like I said, it was a great call to, Punk to go over. If you want to do, you can do this match in a long-term type of deal, like how Darby Allin took a year to beat Cody Rhodes. You can do the same thing with CM Punk here. So long-term storytelling, brothers.
yeah, thank you for wrestling my godson. Sting to Punk.
But
Punk
Will-
in the ring, Punk in the ring, it is a fact that the last we saw of him, he was 35, now he's 42. So there's a difference because he's grown old and 40 is considered kind of the age that your downfall begins. But I was shocked to see him that good in the ring. Maybe it was a story, maybe it was not, but Punk was around 10-20% slower than he was in his prime, but that's kind of obvious. But Darby, maybe it's just a story that Darby Allin is too fast, and for Punk, it was kind of showing that Punk can't handle him and getting him in the headlock again and again. And if you noticed in the beginning, he was so close to Darby's head, it was kind of clear that he was talking to him, what do we do next? So that was kind of one of the things. And talking about the end, I don't know about others, but I was kind of sensing a CM Punk heel turn because every single time Sting was walking or roaming around the ring, Punk was behind him. I was just waiting, when is the roundhouse kick coming? Because it kind of felt like Sting was going to be attacked by Punk. It didn't happen. Lot of signs of it. So I do expect a heel turn very, very soon because Punk's reactions and then after the match, he just went wild. He just stood on the top middle rope and dropped the F-bombs. He was going mad that I'm back and all of that. So it's just a beautiful moment to see.
he was saying that this was a 7-star match. Did you guys caught that on camera? He said he thinks this was a 7-star match, something like that.
No, that he said he's back after 7 years. I think that's
Oh,
he didn't
I'm
say
sorry.
7
I'm
stars.
sorry. But really good match here. Maybe me and Ridwan will talk in depth in the Dynamite review of what's next for Punk. But there you go, man. Really good match. And did you guys see that was teasing something with the tunnel? Like he was going for the heel entrance tunnel, and he talked to the crowd. Should I go here or I go here? Then he decided to go with the babyface tunnel, and the crowd popped. Really good stuff here. Man.
Oh, that's the deal with the two tunnels.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh my God, they have a different tunnel for entrances.
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice.
No matter who you are, now our future is gone.